Kevin here. So today I'm going to build some shelving within my mechanical room here. I just upgraded to a cool combi boiler. That thing is fantastic. I originally had my water heater over here and my 25-year-old boiler over there with vents and piping, and it just took up so much space. This thing is fantastic. It's compact, and now I can build some cool shelves within this room to get all this crap off the floor. I don't even know what this stuff is. It's probably my ladies or my kids. I got more over here. None of it's mine. But anyways, I got to build some storage to get rid of it, get it up on the walls, and make it look more neater. So follow along. It's a very simple process. We're just going to use 2x4s, 1/2-inch OSB, 2.5-inch screws, and that should be it. And we're going to bang this out real quick, so follow along. I got you. And do me a favor. Subscribe to my channel because I got tons more projects just like this to make it more easy and more comfortable to live in your house. Follow along. Be asking yourself, how high should I make my shelves? Pretty simple. You can do whatever you want depending on what you're going to store. But most of us in this country love these damn Tupperware boxes, right? Well, they range in height from, that's 20 inches, and this is 16 inches. So we want to make sure that our shelf is just a little bit higher than that so we can store millions and millions of pounds of crap. So with that being said, I did a little layout right here so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so like I said, I want to do a 24-inch high shelf. Alright, so just to show you on the stud real quick, like I said, this box is about 19 inches. So my stud, which is going to be on the flat, is going to be at 20 inches. Studs are 3.5 tall. And then I'm going to have 1/2 inch of plywood, alright? So when you add that all together, it's 24 inches high. Now I'm going to repeat that 3 times because my basement is less than 8 feet tall. So I can get 6 feet worth of shelving, which is perfect. So that's what I'm going to go with, alright? So like I said, whatever you need for your particular storage needs, go with that. But here, we got a ton of these damn boxes, so I'm going to make space to try to put as many as I can within my shelving unit. Alright, so I'm just going to show you quickly how to lay out your shelving. Again, everybody might have different heights or lengths, but I'm going with 24-inch height for my shelf. So the original number was 24. Another 24 is at 4 feet, so I'm right here. Alright, so that's the top of my second shelf. Now I'm going to go down 1/2 inch. That's going to represent the plywood again. And then 3.5 inches below that, that's going to represent the stud. Okay? I'm doing this a little bit extra just so you guys understand, but that's how this layout works. And then I'm going to do one more. Those are the first 2 shelves, and my last shelf, the top of that one, is going to be at 6 feet. So I'm going to put my pencil mark. Again, 1/2 inch down is the plywood, and 3.5 down from that is where the stud's going to be. You can use your square if you want to be extra. Put your marks on. Perfect. So for this particular layout, my shelf is going to be about 6 feet wide. So I'm just going to get my level and continue these lines on this wall so I know where my studs are going to end up so everything's nice and level. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to lay out a nice level line where my studs are going to be. You can use a chalk line as well. The only issue with a chalk line is it's not going to be level. It'll be straight, but you're not going to exactly see where the level is. So what I want to do is I want to actually get the top of where my studs are. Okay, so I'm going to get a nice level line and mark it on my 2x. Put a mark on this stud. This stud, that's already marked, and then carry it on down. Hold your level at the mark you just made, and then lift your level till it's the bubble's right in the middle, which is right there. Alright, so I cut my 2x4s for length, one for the back, one for the front, times 3. I also cut my blocks. I'm going to put 3 blocks in between each shelf. You're going to need an 1/8 inch drill bit. And then whatever drill bit you need for your 2.5 inch screws, I'm using just your regular 2.5 inch decking screws right here. All 2x4s have a crown to them, which is a bow. This is all pine. What happens when it's kiln dried, a lot of these pieces, they get a bow in them. So you got to kind of look at it and see where the bow is. Hump is up. You want the hump always up. So with gravity, hopefully eventually it'll flatten itself off with the weight. But either way, make sure all your lumber is crowned down. Alright, so one on each end. Very straightforward. Alright. And then find the midpoint. This is 68. So that means the midpoint's at 34. Make your mark. And one's going to go right in there. Alright? And actually, you're better off putting a mark on 34 over here as well. Okay. So very simple. Just pre-drill all your corners. Now, if you don't pre-drill your corners, the screws are so close to the end. Again, this is just cheap kiln-dried crap. It's going to split. That's the reason why I'm not using my nail gun. You put a couple of 12-inch spikes with the nail gun right through here, it's just going to blow the ends of those. So make sure you pre-drill your corners. Same for the other one. Alright, so that's the first one. Again, I'm doing 3, so repeat this 3 times, or 4, or 9, however many shelves you're trying to build. Alright, so I screwed together 3 shelf frames already. What I also did was cut 3 20-inch blocks. Like I said, the bottom of our box is going to be 20 inches. So these are just going to be temporary stay holds so I can mount these shelves. So I'm going to put one there, in the middle, and one on my last. I'm just going to put one quick screw in there just so it holds in, and I'll remove it later on. If you wanted, you could leave these in, and as you go up, just keep putting more blocks in, but I like a little more cleaner look, so I'm going to remove these and just keep using them as I go up. Alright, so it's locked on there solid. I'm not going to jump on it, but it's really strong. So now take your blocks. Again, you're going to have a 1/2 inch sheet of plywood there, so you just can't rest your block right there, alright? So as you can see, well, you probably can't, but this line's a 1/2 inch higher, so I'm going to bring this up to the mark and then drive it home. Alright, remember that. The 1/2 inch plywood isn't on yet, so don't just rest it on there, okay? Bring it up to the line. Alright, lift it up to the next side. Looks good. Make sure it's nice and leveled up. Hold it with your stomach. If you have a beer belly, it might be a little harder. Set that first screw. Okay, now you want to add 2 support braces to the front of your shelving. Just use your level, make sure it's level, then use your pencil to draw a straight line. Do the same with the other side. Level up that brace towards the outside. Then you want to level up your shelf, line up your brace to the pencil mark you just made, and put 2 screws into each shelf to lock it all into place. Do the same on the other side. See? Holds 175 pounds. What's up with that? Now you want to cut your plywood tops. I took about 1/8 off the width and the length, just so it fits easy and I'm not struggling with it. Then you can use screws or a trim net or whatever you have just to secure the top to the shelf itself.
Alright, now to set up the wall on the concrete side, use your level, and depending on how long your wall is, you're going to want to put a stud about every 2 feet. So I'm putting 4 on this particular wall here.
So I'm going to use a Hilti gun. This is actually a DeWalt brand, but this is going to shoot the nails actually into the concrete through the 2x4. It's basically a 22 caliber pistol, if you will. These are what I got. It says 22 caliber right on there. This is a number 3 shot. There's shots between 1 through 4. It's how powerful the shot is. This is very old concrete, so I went with a 3. These are what the nails look like. They have like a little rubber gasket there. That's what holds it in place in the Hilti. And then a washer so the nail doesn't blow all the way through the 2x4, all right? So very simple. You put the nail in there, just like that. Push down. Open it. All right. You grab one of your loads. It just goes right in here. Just like that. And then you close it up. This is a 22 caliber pistol, if you will. Be very careful with this. And if the neighbors call the cops, well, you got somebody downstairs doing big things. You know what I mean?
So line up your gun, give it a quick push, and then pull the trigger. That releases the 22 caliber shot. Put a new nail in it. And replace the shot. Close it all up. Don't shoot your eye out, kid. Again, line up your gun, give it a quick push, then pull the trigger.
Alright, just quickly, I'm going to use masonry screws, alright? This is a blue masonry screw. It's 3 1/4 inches long. The 2x4 is 1.5 inches, so that's going to give me plenty of meat into that concrete. So the first thing I have to do is pre-drill through the actual 2x4 with a wood bit, and then this is a masonry bit. If you see, the top is kind of wedged right there, and you're going to need a hammer drill to get through that. Now to measure these, you kind of want the bit to be just like a 1/16 smaller than what the threads are. It might be hard to see on this camera, but alright, so we're going to pre-drill the wood first with a wood bit, then use this through the wood, and then we're going to screw this in. Alright, follow along.
So first have the wooden drill bit. You're going to feel when you hit the concrete. Pull out your drill gun, replace it with the masonry bit. It's going to go right to the concrete, and you're going to feel the vibration. Change your drill to hammer mode, and keep going.
Alright, so I pre-drilled 3 holes into the wood, and then I used the concrete bit and pre-drilled into the concrete further. So again, this is our 3/4 inch tapcon. This is my impact driver. You need a 5/16 socket driver. And that's going to go right into the head of the tapcon and drive this in. It's the only way. So just get it in there. Go for it. Simple as that. Alright, so this wall is about 10.5 feet long worth of shelves. So I got my 2x4s, they're shot. Got my 3 1/4 inch tapcons. I got 3 tapcons and 2 shots in each 2x4 going down the wall. This in essence becomes our framing wall, and now we're going to put our shelves up against this. So just like previously, we're going to measure up 2 feet. Alright, so I already have a mark at my 2 feet. I actually marked these previously so I wouldn't put my tapcons or my nails within where my 2x4s are going to go, because then it'll give me some spacing that I didn't want. So that's my 2 foot mark, which is it. So I measured down 1/2 inch, which is my thickness of my plywood. Now I'm going to measure down 3 1/2 more, and that's going to be where my stud goes. Alright, get your square, mark it off, and your ply as well. Alright, so from here on out is the same exact way as we framed the previous shelving. So I want to get a level line from where the top of my stud was. Remember, the 1/2 inch is the top of the plywood. We don't want that. We want to get our studs perfect. So I'm going to make a level line from the top of my stud mark. One. Send that one. And just repeat the process for your second and third shelf. Alright, so same thing like last time. I put my 20-inch blocks in. I got one there and one there. This first shelf is going to be a little bit shorter because it's running underneath my gas meter. The other two are going to be a little bit longer. So with that being said, I'm going to have a seam. So right here, I have a mark halfway in the stud. So I know that I'm going to have this 2x4 stop on that halfway, and then it's going to run again on the other half of that stud. So that's why I have a mark right in the middle. And that's the finished product. These are very solid. I used some 2x4s I had in my workshop along with some old OSB. Nothing fancy, but it's going to get the job done and hold a ton of weight, i.e. all the crap that your lady or your kids got. So if you're looking for any DIY projects, home renovation, construction, how-to, do me a favor, subscribe to my channel. Thanks.